No, I was in high school, so I was
Why were you in high school?
because I'm significantly younger.
Well, I was a
than you.
sophomore in college. So then were you a senior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Were 3 grades or 2? That's 2 grades.
Use those fingers.
Wow, that makes you feel so much younger than me.
Look at me.
You love a cougar, don't you? So satisfying.
So much happening.
So much.
It's all happening.
It is. It's all happening. We are Penny Lane.
We are. We live in a constant state of Penny Lane. Welcome to Satisfying. Do we love Almost Famous?
I mean, it's one of my faves. It's a classic.
Isn't it?
It is.
Isn't it great? That's my favorite line of maybe any movie.
Yeah.
When he's just sitting in the back seat and he goes, 11? Because he finds out he's only 11 years old.
Yeah.
His mom's been lying to him the whole
Yeah.
time. Frances McDormand is
So
the mom.
good. That's such a good movie.
Yes, you are 11.
Sorry. I think I would have been an amazing groupie. I think I could have been.
Yeah.
But like in that era, right? Like I feel like I would have enjoyed groupieing.
Especially, because people didn't realize how dangerous it was yet.
Right.
They didn't realize what was actually happening.
Yeah.
I think, you could have been an all-time groupie. You could have been like a plaster caster type.
Right, like
you know what plaster caster
No.
was? She was like a groupie or Band-Aid.
Okay.
Let's be respectful. Isn't
Okay.
that what they like to be called?
I
Band-Aids?
didn't know that, but it makes sense.
I thought that's what it was. And she did casts like with plaster caster of artists' anatomy.
Ah, okay.
Right? And every face, she did Jimi Hendrix. She did
So anyone
everybody.
that she banged, she did a plaster
I don't know if
cast
she
of?
even had to bang them
Okay.
necessarily. She
Oh.
just did the
The
plaster caster on
Right.
them. And there was, I think it was a Hendrix song, or maybe it was a Kiss song called Plaster Caster, and it was
Okay.
about her.
Interesting.
Because she did Kiss too.
Okay. Yeah, like I like the groupies or the band-aids that like when you look them up, it was like, oh, and then she dated this person, she dated this. Like they really moved around.
Right,
It
right.
wasn't just one lead singer of some band.
No, it was looked at as, it was a very positive thing.
Yeah. How could it not be?
That's right. What's not to be positive about that?
It's craziness.
Yeah, that it was like, almost like if you're going to be famous, this is how you know.
Right.
This is how you know you've made it.
Yes.
You've had it, you spent the evening with
This person, this person. this
XYZ.
person. The evening. You've spent the
Spent
evening.
the evening with. And then one rock star falls in love with them.
Right.
Do you think that person is a sap who falls in love with them, or do you think it's just they have a connection?
No, I think they have a connection. And I think like after like experiencing so many like random women on the road, eventually like you're human and you want to just
Settle down.
Yeah, find that person. Even if you don't settle down, you keep the crazy lifestyle going, but you just want to just have your person, your partner.
You never attempted to be a groupie?
Oh, I mean, I attempted.
You
but
did.
not like the old, like the biggies, like not like the way it was like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like,
You wouldn't like travel with the band.
no.
But when
like,
you say attempt, how did you
like I
attempt?
definitely attempted to sleep with label people / like up and coming like singer songwriters or something in hopes that
Because that's who you had access to.
right.
Right. In hopes that maybe they'll get famous.
And then
that,
the two didn't ever get famous.
but you did groupie 2 people hoping they get famous.
I did bed them, yes.
You bed them. You spent the evening with them?
I did.
Or they spent the evening with you?
They spent the evening with me.
Yes.
Well, one I spent the evening with them at their hotel, and then one was in my
Both label people, both artists, one label person, one artist.
2 artists, 1 label person.
Okay, so it just went from 2 to 3.
Sorry, I forgot about the
Unless
Forgot.
2 was 1.
Oh, actually, 2 label people. 2 label
So
people.
we're up to 4.
We're up to 4. 2 label people, 2 artists. Sorry. But again, like it almost feels like it doesn't count if they never made it big.
Right. Yeah, that's why I almost feel like the longer we keep this conversation going, the more the number will go
No,
up.
I'm good. I think that's it.
2 label people,
Right. And 2
2 artists.
artists.
The artist never made it.
No. So there's no flex there. So
How did you meet the artists?
they came in to my show.
They were hip bound.
They were hitbound. Yeah, they were like, or like we were like sometimes like in.
And you were like, let me hit it.
No, one pushed it, was like working me, wasn't even me.
Right.
But yeah,
And the other you were working.
and then some like the label people like had huge artists, and then like to get those huge artists, you had to like interview like some of the small up and comers. So you did, and then I was like, oh, let me get in on the ground floor here.
Right,
Just stay on the ground floor because nothing's gonna happen with your career.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. You stay on the ground floor, but also like as an artist, if you hook up with a groupie when you're up and coming,
Mm-hmm.
once you're famous, don't you feel like you should be graduating to a different? Do you feel like as the groupie you get to go with them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know the rules.
Okay.
I'm not like a professional groupie. Oh, you know who tried to make it happen, and it was so weird. Remember Jesse McCartney?
I do remember.
He
Jesse
loved
McCartney.
me every time he came in. He would always ask
not
for
to love.
Yeah, but he is not my style.
Okay.
He was not. He was too clean cut, little boy band. Even though he wasn't in a boy band, like he was too young. He was
like one of those kid star things.
He was like almost like it was like Disney star. I was like, no,
not for you.
No, but he tried.
Good for him. And good for you. That's got to be good for the ego.
It didn't make me feel good.
Really?
Yeah, because if I don't want them back, then I don't feel so good.
You know what guest came in and I was like, oh, I think she's into me?
Whoa.
None.
Oh,
ever.
Stop it. That's not true.
Never.
Well, you know Taylor, our girl Taylor Strucker.
Oh, yeah. She been on the show.
I think she's talked about this. Chris, back in the day, Captain America, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. What did
he asked for her number? He tried to get her number, like his publicist asked Taylor for her number.
Do you think it was because he wanted to call her and say, would you mind deleting the interview?
No, don't say that about her,
okay, I'm just asking.
No, he wanted her then, but she was, I think, just about to get married.
Oh, she regrets it?
Yeah, she regrets it.
Yeah, very much, because she's divorced now.
Yeah, but I mean, now she's remarried to a woman, so maybe that wouldn't have worked out either.
Well, I'm not saying you have to, like, I don't think she and Captain America would have been an item forever, but if there could be one day.
Oh, my gosh.
One night with Captain America and you get the divorce done way quicker?
Yeah.
Maybe. Can you imagine? She spends one night with Captain America right before she gets married. She doesn't even, now the boyfriend finds out, they break up. She doesn't even have to get married and go through all that rigmarole.
Yeah. I mean, she tried. We've talked about this. She tried to stop it before she walked down the aisle. And I was like, you're doing it. We'll get divorced later.
That's right. You were a bad friend.
That wasn't a bad friend, but it's like, it was too, I feel like a runaway bride. Like, leading up. Don't make the man and all the guests and all the vendors walk down the aisle and this whole hub of people have traveled and spent all this money to just be like, I can't do it. Don't be that. So
don't waste people's time.
Don't waste people's time. Get married and get divorced after.
This is you being a people pleaser.
Maybe. But
no,
also,
I don't want to ruin their day. I don't want to ruin their good time. They came all the way here for me.
But
I'll give them the show.
If you've gone all the way to the wedding day, like a second before you walk down the aisle, like you had ample time to end this or be like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you punish yourself and go like, nope. Even though I definitely know now I shouldn't be doing this. If I didn't, I have to now. Why? Because my cousin's here. Yeah,
but don't you think it would cause it's more messy to like do it right, and then it's like, I mean, not that I've ever been to something like that, but then
I mean, that's dramatic.
Do they keep the party going and just everyone enjoys the food and the band and everything, and then the would-be
I guess it depends on the
groom?
wedding. Like some weddings suck, and so it's like if the bride had run away, it'd be like, oh no, we're not sticking around for this. But like I think for my wedding,
for our weddings, by the way,
and your wedding too,
1 week apart.
1 week apart. I think for both of our weddings,
yeah.
First of all, for your wedding, a runaway bride husband situation would have come as absolutely no surprise.
Correct.
You're as dramatic a human being as is your husband, as anyone. And if that would have happened, the party would have kept going, and there would have been an expectation that you probably would have come back by the end of the evening.
No, yes, right. But I also could see myself going through. Then, like, it's starting the party, enjoying cocktail hour, everybody having drinks, everybody. So we're into the wedding, so we didn't waste the money. And then being like, I don't want to do this and leaving.
You'd be in your wedding dress. You would have run away from the ceremony.
Right.
You'd still be having the party, and you'd be like, fuck him. He sucks. And then you know what would have been really annoying?
What?
You would have gotten married to Matt like 3 months later.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
A million percent.
You would have been a runaway bride that just got married again anyway.
Wait, wasn't there like a rock star that like got married and divorced and remarried to his wife like multiple times?
I think so.
I can't think of who it is, but it's like a crazy story. And I could see that happening with Matt and
Pam and Tommy get married and divorced more than once?
They did, and then they got remarried. I think that's
so.
right.
Maybe Kid Rock and Pam? I don't know. I think Pam Anderson...
Still think it's crazy that Kid Rock and Pam Anderson were ever together.
Kid Rock's the man.
How do you feel about Pam Anderson and her new no makeup vibe?
I don't mind it. I don't mind Pam Anderson finding herself and who she is right now.
I don't think she's finding herself right now.
Well, she's figuring out like who she is today.
No, she's just tired and doesn't want to do glam anymore.
I mean, that's a big step for somebody that was literally the queen of glam.
Yeah.
She's in this movie, I think it's called The Last Showgirl.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen the poster of it, but it's like the story of this showgirl review that's been in business in Las Vegas forever.
Okay.
Going out of business. And she plays this showgirl that's been there for decades. Right?
Okay,
and then what happens when it just goes out of business and there's nothing to do?
Well.
And Batista, so she plays this showgirl, and then Dave Batista plays this guy that's been running the place, and that you would never know it was him looking at the photo. He's got like long kind of, I don't want to say creepy hair, but it's
kind of creepy.
It's shady.
Okay.
It's at least shady hair.
Okay.
But he's got like kind of long white hair. He's like playing an older guy
Yeah, I
that's
don't like that.
clearly been in Vegas running this showgirl
way
review
too
for
long.
years
Yeah.
and years. I don't know. It just seems like that movie, The Wrestler, except for showgirls.
Exactly. Also, I feel like she is like very, it was an easy role possibly for her to take because it was all this hubbub and she was like everything to everybody in the entertainment industry. And then one day it just was over.
Absolutely.
Right? And then it was just all gone.
Absolutely. And, you know, people loved watching the downfall. They loved watching the scandal. They loved watching the mess.
Wait, did you have a poster of Pam Anderson in your room?
Absolutely.
Who else?
It was the poster.
Okay.
I mean, the most
Yeah.
basic bitch poster you could have.
I'm pretty sure Matt had it too.
As a freshman in Syracuse, of course, you go to the poster sale, and what do you buy? You buy the poster of Pam Anderson wearing nothing but the American flag.
Yep.
And you put it up in your room.
She looks great.
She looks fantastic, and you remember why America's so great.
Yeah. Right. It's like between her and the flag, you're like, America.
Man, look at what we got going on
Yeah,
here.
that's amazing.
None of these, and then it was like the early 2000s. So I'd look at that poster and I go, no wonder they hate us for our freedom.
That's what you would say in your
Remember,
head?
that's what they said. The terrorists hated us for our freedom.
Oh, is that what they said?
They said 9/11 happened because they hate our freedom.
They don't know if that was what happened.
That's what they said.
But do you think that that's actually what was the case?
No.
Do they? Okay. Yeah. Do you know what also was crazy?
What?
Because I like to watch some holiday movies around this time.
You mean the holidays?
It is the holiday. It's the holiday season.
Yeah.
No, I love watching Love Actually. Always.
You know why?
Why?
To me,
Why?
you are perfect.
Oh gosh, stop.
How do we feel about Andrew Garfield scamming on his best friend's chick?
I mean, it's messed up, but like sometimes you just have to let it out, and you need to tell your truth, whether it's the wrong thing or not.
I think that's true.
Mhm.
I mean, what good does that do anyone?
It's just what I have decided.
It's so selfish.
It is.
It's so incredibly
But-
narcissistic and selfish.
But I mean, I have moments like that. So
Right, where you've done things. This is a
Yeah.
bad thing to do.
Yeah.
But my feelings are so strong. I
That
need to get them out.
I do, and
And-
then you can be free. Let's like setting. The
And then she
feelings-
goes like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Divorce your best friend?" You're like, "I don't know. I just was telling you. I'm
just letting you know.
I'm telling you this.
right.
You
It's
figure
ki-
out what to do from
It's
here."
kind of like when you cheat on somebody and you tell them because you can't have it on your conscience anymore.
Right.
Right?
It's like, yeah, years ago I
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Well, why now?
Why are you telling me that?
No, but at the beginning of the movie, I don't know if it's Hugh Grant I think it is Hugh Grant that's doing the narration. They're showing everybody in the airport hugging and saying hi.
So he's the
and-
prime minister, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in it, he goes into a whole thing about when 9/11 hit, and I couldn't believe that 9/11 happened before Love Actually. For some reason, I picture Love Actually being so far, and he says,
Right.
like mentions that.
And you don't realize that it's like, yeah, I mean, 25 years ago.
Like, do you remember where you were when the?
Of course, everybody of that era remembers exactly where they were.
I was a horrible human being when I found out because I was in bed with my boyfriend at the time, who was the biggest drug dealer at the school.
By the way, it should come as no surprise to anybody. Where were you when you found out about 9/11? I was post-coital.
Yeah. And we were in bed and our phones were ringing off the hook, but we were hungover. We were sleeping.
I am
And finally, his mom, he picked up the phone and she was like freaking out and she was crying and it was just this whole thing. And I think it just like we didn't click.
Mhm.
And I think we literally put the phone down and then went back to sleep and then woke up and we were like, oh my God. But it was like we were like literally in half a dream.
Yeah.
Post-coital.
Well, it was post-coital.
Yeah.
Just two messes.
Horrible.
Two wrecks. You slept through 9/11.
Horrible. But yeah, then after that, then it was like, where is everybody? Like, who do I know that's there? And it was just
Right.
crazy.
No, I was in high school, so
Why were you in high school?
because I'm significantly younger.
Well, I was a
than you.
sophomore in college. So then were you a senior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Were 3 grades or 2? That's 2 grades.
Use those fingers.
Wow. That makes you feel so much younger than me.
Look at me.
You love a cougar, don't you? No, that does. That feels very like, that feels totally way. I didn't think we were that. I thought we were like a year apart.
Nah, dude.
I hate you.
No,
I
I'm
hate
experiencing my youth. I'm just a kid. But going back to the original
Yes.
conversation. No, I think I understand where you're like, it's messy because everybody showed up to your wedding and you ran out.
Yeah.
But what's messy is you now have to get lawyers involved
Mm.
and create paperwork and separate this life that you've just created.
Okay, but what if you're a guest at the wedding where there's a runaway bride? And she
It
gets
would
up?
literally be the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
Would it be equal to somebody missing their cruise ship and running after
That's
it?
a great question.
I mean, which is more entertaining?
Okay, so
brings you more joy.
Because I've never. So we're talking miss cruise ship.
Yeah.
Truck getting can opener under a overpass.
Oh, you like that?
Like it.
Love it.
It's literally my favorite thing in the world.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen it. You've seen it happen?
Many times.
Oh, so you like Google videos of this?
I've seen it in person.
Oh, you have?
It's the best.
Well, also, you're an idiot if you're the driver of that truck.
That's why it's so great.
Got it. Okay.
Because like there's things on it. I used to live in an apartment building right by a low overpass, and every now and then you just hear, yeah, and I go, yes. Like a couple months ago, I was driving home on the Henry Hudson.
Yeah.
And there's so much traffic. It was terrible traffic. And I was like, oh, it's taking forever. What's the holdup? And then as we were getting closer, I was like, can you imagine? And I got off the highway and was just driving slowly down this service road. And all of a sudden, I see this truck with the whole roof peeled off. And all I could do is take out my phone, video it, and just go, yes! Every bit of traffic was worth it.
Oh my God. In the summer we have, because we're traveling so much and always in some other beach, we have our huge Thule roof rack, and we were pulling into a parking garage at one of the places that we were staying before we got to our next destination. And literally Matt was like, wait, oh my gosh. Like literally almost the whole roof, the whole thing would have come off.
Oh, I wish it had.
Because we could have fit without the roof rack.
Without the roof rack. Oh, I wish it had.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And then there's obviously missing a bus or a train.
You just like that. But that's not as good as the cruise. Because the bus or the train, you can catch the next one. The cruise, you're screwed.
You're screwed. You're there for, you got to get a plane ticket. You got to do a whole thing. There was a video, I wish I had it queued up, that went viral. People are still tweeting it to me this year. Probably my favorite video of the year. That this guy, there's 2 cruise ships, right? Mm-hmm. And one of them's leaving. And so the guy comes running and running. Oh, no, wait. And he's running for it. And the people on the other cruise ship are videoing him. Going like, oh, it's already leaving. And they're like, oh, you missed it. And then he like is talking to this like service guy on the dock. Yeah. And the service guy on the dock points to the boat that's parked. And he looks up, and everybody that's looking at him and filming him, that's his boat. He was running for the wrong boat.
My God,
and so everyone just starts laughing at him.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Please send that to me.
I will. It'll bring you joy. Oh. But I don't know. Runaway bride, because obviously.
Yeah, because if you're there, like you're saying, you would love it, but like I'd be annoyed, especially if I flew somewhere and bought a dress and I'm all dressed up and it's like annoying. I'm like, really? How selfish of you.
It's not.
To run away.
It's literally your wedding.
Yeah, but
you're throwing a party for yourself. You can't accuse somebody of being selfish.
Yeah, but usually when you're a guest at a wedding, you end up having to spend a good amount of money to be there often.
Sure.
So I don't. You should just push through. Let me have a nice time.
You can take your gift back.
Yeah, then you got it. Yeah.
I'd be on the phone with the bank canceling the check.
Do you go to the gift table and you're like,
you know what? I'd leave it there. I'd just cancel the check.
Yeah, right.
Like, and then I would know if they tried to cash it. Right. What are you doing trying to cash a wedding check, huh?
So messed up.
Huh? You're single.
Do you remember counting your checks? I remember sitting in the car with Matt and being like, yeah, we're rich. It was gone. It was gone a week later.
Yes. Totally counting checks and also doing the compare and contrast, right?
Yeah.
Seeing who was real good.
Cheapskate.
Who could have done a little better, based on their position. And like, who could have done a little better? Who did wonderfully? Yeah.
We had some bizarre ones. Like ones that I was like, I thought you were going to hook it up and this is chump change.
Right. Like you were only really invited to hook it up.
Yeah.
And
the only reason I had you here, because I knew you'd give me a great gift.
And you didn't even cover the plate.
If that. Half a plate.
But yeah, no, I think it would bring me, I can't imagine, I'll say this. I can't imagine a wedding that I've gone to that I wouldn't think that it would have been made better if it didn't happen. Like if the bride or the husband ran away. And it's not even about the bride, either the bride or the husband, just the drama of one of them running away. Like Taylor almost getting into a fight with one of the guests at your wedding.
Oh, she did.
Was like the greatest thing ever.
You can say who it was.
It was Rich Davis's wife.
Yep. Because she heard Taylor say something and call her like a Hooters girl or something.
Right. But I mean, just the fact that we're all grown-ups.
Yeah.
And this is how we're behaving.
It was bad. It was alcohol induced.
I love that.
Meanwhile, you couldn't have given 2 Fs. You were killing it on the dance floor, having the time of your life. We all were. And I remember getting wind of it and being like, I can't deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Which I normally be like, oh, okay, here, go, what's going on?
Yeah.
And got involved. But I was like,
No, I got the scoop, and then I enjoyed myself even more.
Yeah.
I love drama at a wedding.
I know you do.
And that's why, like, the height of that would be a bride running off.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be great.
All right.
I think it'd be amazing. Speaking of groupies, you were talking about it's kind of like joining a cult. I was thinking about you being a groupie to a cult member because you've said
I texted you.
You said, you know, that you were watching the Jonestown. I didn't even know there was a new Jim Jones doc.
I mean, the story's been told so many times.
Well, I know the story.
Right. You know it better than I did because this is a 3-parter. It's brand new. It might be on Netflix. It might be on Hulu. You know how I feel about Hulu. I don't know what it was on, but it's called. It's the new Jim Jones documentary. It's 3 parts, and like,
not the rapper.
No, not the
Ballin'!
rapper. I didn't know there was a Jim Jones rapper. Should I have known that? Should I have known? Okay. It just is. I think as the story's being told, like you always are waiting for like, and what sort of culty things did he do? Because a lot of it, I felt like it was just like they were blindly following him. It obviously started like in a church.
Well, he's very charismatic, but he would also prey on poor people and minorities.
Yes,
really prey on minorities.
Yeah, he loved the minority thing, but it was like, where was like the sex? Where was the like abuse? Was there different types of punishments or weird work you made them do? Like I was looking for that, and the only thing I've gotten so far is that like he would drug them and they'd be like punished sometimes and be like drugged and put somewhere for like a couple weeks at a time.
Well, have you gotten to Jonestown yet?
No, we're in Jonestown, and then the congressman just got shot.
Oh,
He's
okay.
killed.
You're at the point of no return then.
Yeah.
Oh, it got ugly.
Yeah.
It got ugly after that. Yeah. I mean, he starts this church. Well, I think he started like 1 or 2 churches and got kind of run out of town because people were like, "Oh, I think this might be a scam."
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, was he predisposed to like schizophrenia? Like, did he have psychosis? Was it drug induced? Like, it wasn't just that he was.
I think he had delusions of grandeur.
Clearly.
And I think he might have had some kind of psychosis that was really exemplified or heightened by drug use.
I also thought when people would say drink the Kool-Aid that he actually gave them Kool-Aid and just like spiked it.
Well, it
was Kool-Aid?
So, well, interestingly enough, it was actually Flavor-Aid.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why do you know all the details of this?
I mean, I think it's so fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Because, like, anytime, like, so he had this, my understanding, I haven't thought about this in forever, I haven't seen the new doc, but he had this following of people, and I think it was, like, he was getting in trouble in the States because he was trying to avoid tax laws.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Taking money and stuff like that. So he got this plot of land.
Let's just go to Guyana.
In Guyana, yeah. And started Jonestown. And he built it up, and he had his followers build it.
Of course.
And they all moved there, and they brought their families and everything.
But, like, did he pay for them all to get on flights? Like, how did I have so many questions. I don't know if anyone's going to ever be able to answer them all.
Yeah.
If they're all poor, how are they getting there?
I think he got them there.
Okay.
But the reason they're giving him all their money.
All right.
Right?
Right.
And so, yeah, they're building this community. And then he slowly started to lose it. And then I'm sure you know by now, if you were watching it, like after months, because people found out that this was happening, right?
Right.
And so you'd hear back on the States, they'd be reporting it on the news.
So
There's
that's
this
why
weird
they were going to
cult,
investigate.
and they were like, we're not a cult, we're a church.
Yeah, that's what they'll say.
In Jonestown. And this congressman or whoever goes over, and he's like, I'm just going to check this out. And he was there, and he was like, oh, this is fine.
At the beginning.
Everything's totally cool.
But then, wait, there's one part that they show. He's on the mic being like, does seem like everybody is happier than they've ever been. And they all start clapping.
Yep.
And they don't stop clapping. And he's looking around like.
This is weird.
Like they don't want to still be clapping. It's
right.
almost like they're being forced. It was weird.
And then somebody slipped him a note.
Yes, the note.
Except the note got ratted out.
Yeah. The guy, honestly, and that guy's dead. He shouldn't have ratted it out. You can see how dangerous of a situation these people are in.
Who do you think's worse, the guy who ratted out the note or the guy who ratted out Luigi?
Oof. The note.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you in Camp Luigi yet or still not really?
I'm in it.
You're in. But he still did a murder.
He did do a murder.
So that's tough.
But he's a sexy murderer.
Sexy murderer. And
great abs.
Great abs. And seems like a good guy.
Like he might have been a good guy who lost it. Lost his way.
He did one murder.
He did one. It's not that bad.
What's the worst thing you've ever done? Don't say it, but I can't judge you for it. I can't. That doesn't make up who you are.
I think some of the things that I've done combined are worse than doing the murder that Luigi did.
Okay. Yeah, that specific murder.
That, right. Okay.
So,
all right. So, Jones.
Yeah. So then when they realized that the note's been passed.
Why would the guy show Jim that?
Because he believed in it.
Oh.
He wanted them to keep going. He wanted them to keep, doing their thing. And so that's when they go and they assassinate this guy. Did they show the footage? Did they have the guy getting assassinated?
Yeah. Everybody and then the people that survived that all got shot, like the congressman's like aide, like she's talking, and the cameraman, and they're just like where they ran to some like little rum shop and they were hiding there, and so like it was crazy, and like all the babies that died, like this was crazy.
It was crazy, and then no, they did so he made it was. I believe it was Flavor Aid, which is like a store brand Kool-Aid.
Okay.
But it was
okay.
It was Kool-Aid. That drink the Kool-Aid does come from there.
All right. So it didn't taste bad.
Don't know, because I don't know how strong the cyanide taste is. I've never drinking it.
Me neither.
Right.
Let's try it sometime.
I think if you just do a little bit just for the taste,
you're okay.
You're fine.
Okay, cool.
By the way, don't take our advice.
Will it make me high? Can you just get like a little high? You just take like a little droplet?
So, yeah, and then he's like, we all got to do this together. And there were
like, what did they think? What was he saying to them?
Well, that's the other thing. Apparently, there were less people doing it voluntarily than originally reported. It was like people with a gun to their head going like, you have to do it. And then they were killing people who didn't do it.
Okay.
So it's almost like, well,
I mean, do I want to die?
What am I going to do?
Yeah,
and then he didn't drink it, but he
shot himself in the head.
Yeah.
Also, like, isn't drinking cyanide, doesn't it cause a lot of pain? So maybe you'd want to be shot. Like, I think that... Like,
yeah, but I don't think they were like, oh, here, drink this painful drink.
No, but one guy talked about how he watched his wife and son. She was just holding him. He said she was in agony.
Right.
So it can't be comfortable to be.
No way.
I guess getting poisoned in general probably doesn't feel great. You got to feel some sort of sickness before you die.
Maybe diarrhea.
Maybe a little diarrhea.
Which, it's embarrassing.
I mean, it could, it's really embarrassing.
Like, imagine if they were like, oh, we found all these victims of Jim Jones and they all had diarrhea all over them. It'd be disgusting.
Like, right. Like, don't just kill them or force them to kill themselves.
Do you think it would be like...
Shame them.
Right.
Embarrass them and then have them kill themselves.
Do you think it would be traumatic if we were doing the interviews for this doc and I was talking to the survivors and I'm like, okay. And then, I know it's really tough to talk about. Did anyone have diarrhea?
Because they all looked like...
They look like, because I wonder because of poison.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, didn't even have what? No, that's just diarrhea.
Just a quick question.
Just a quick question.
Routine question.
For the record, it mentioned people want to know about the diarrhea.
I mean, but you do hear of I mean, obviously that was poison, but when people are in like near-death situations, wetting their pants or crapping their pants or, because you just lose control.
You did that when you got hit by the car.
I didn't, thankfully, because they cut.
Just trying to start a rumor.
No, but because I did say that to the person that stuck their finger in my butt. You remember that whole controversy because they were seeing if I was paralyzed. But I remember being like, "Did I pee my pants or do anything in my pants?" Because I was unconscious. He was like, "You're fine, ma'am. Just don't move." As I shoved my fist in your ass. He didn't shove his fist in my ass, but.
Yeah.
But so we have one more episode. We only watched the first two, but like now I'm like back into cult mode.
You are.
I just don't. I need more.
Because you don't like murder stuff. But why do you like the cult stuff?
I don't know. That's what Matt said. He was like, you always get mad at me. You walk, storm away when I'm watching some like murderous thing or horrible crime. But the minute there's like an element of cultishness in it, you were like, I'm all in.
Because cults are so evil because they find vulnerable people and they prey on them over time to the point where like you're living in this existence where you don't know up from down.
Yeah.
And you're in too deep to know. Even if you do have this awareness of, I got to get out of this, you're in way too deep.
They share some audio of him talking to someone, and he's like, I just want to go back home for a little bit, just see some of my family, and then I'll come back. And he was like, you want to go home? And this is blasphemy, he's screaming, and this is disgusting, and blah, blah, blah. He's like totally just scolding him. And then he's like, do you want to go home? And the guy goes, no. It was like real. That part really upset me because you were watching the manipulation like happen.
Yeah. But then there are other cults like the Heaven's Gate cult that did that all off themselves with the shoes. Remember they had sneakers and blankets over them?
No, what is
this? This was like in the 90s.
Oh, I don't know this. Is there a documentary about it I can watch?
Oh, yeah. I'll send it to you. I think it's on HBO Max, maybe.
Heaven's Gate. Maybe. Tell me more.
Heaven's Gate is when like they all thought there was an alien ship coming. Okay. And it was like that. It was like the old man who like, there was video of him just talking like this all the time.
I don't want to see that anymore.
And and there was like some of them were voluntarily castrating themselves.
Totally normal,
right? And they walked in this house in somewhere in California, and they found this scene of however many people, a bunch of people, all in bunk beds with white blankets over themselves, all wearing matching Nike sneakers.
Nice. Were they cool?
I'm trying to get a pair because it's the Heaven's Gate shoe
Right,
now.
it is. Right.
Right. But I say all that to say, and he was with them, by the way.
And he didn't kill himself?
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
He absolutely did.
Okay. Did he have the same matching shoes?
He also had the magic shoes.
Okay,
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But there are still people living in that sort of existence. Like that cult still exists. There are still people that go like, no, they did what they said they were going to do, and they went up in the spaceship. Like, they're like, no, it actually,
They're in there.
Like, they go, that actually was 100% the plan.
Don't get it twisted. They're on the ship.
This is great news.
They have boarded.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh. Okay.
we're supposed to be left home to spread the word, but these guys.
The last thing that when we discussed this many episodes ago that was similar to that was like the blue chick, because there was some sort of like
Yeah.
you know, alien,
Mother Earth.
and drinking
Love
the
her.
colloidal silver.
Love her.
And then Robin Williams, but that they were getting messages from them.
About Robin Williams. I might need to rewatch that one. It was so good.
So good, yeah.
Yeah.
I just love cults. I mean, I don't love them. I just am, like I've said it,
You're
just
fascinated
by like the human nature and how your brain does this.
We
or
talked about
allows-
the TikTok cult.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that one, one of the girls has like come forward and been like, there's like legal issues going on now. Look, I'm fine. I'm not being held against my will. Please, that's what they all say.
Okay.
Sure, pal. Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
But now, like,
but it's interesting that you love that stuff.
I do. And then I just showed you one we have to watch in January. It's like
the daughters of the
daughters
cult.
of the cult.
The Mormon cult, Mormon Manson.
And they called him Mormon Manson. Ervil.
Yeah,
Ervil. I should probably look for something like a little bit more like happy to watch, but.
Well, did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino movie?
No.
Okay, so see, this is great.
Okay.
Because it's a Tarantino movie, so it's a blast.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. It's maybe my favorite Tarantino movie. It's among the best.
Okay.
Leo.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's in it.
Give it to me.
Margot Robbie. And
why have I never seen this?
It's the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
And takes place in LA during the Manson crimes.
Oh.
So you can get your fun you can get your fun old Hollywood.
Little both.
You get your fun Tarantino movie. You get your cult stuff, but it's all fun because it's through the lens of a Tarantino film. I'm surprised you never saw that. It's great.
Yeah. Manson was a real weirdo, huh?
He was a real weirdo because he didn't actually murder.
No, he had people do his dirty work.
That's right, because he was going for helter skelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look great in jail either.
Well, he put a swastika in his head. That's not the best.
Right in the middle,
That's
there.
That's not the best at all.
Yeah, I feel like that'll get you like hurt in jail. Like, in jail, not that you've ever been to jail.
I have.
But you've been incarcerated?
Very much so.
We had Gypsy Rose Blanchard on, by the way. Did you know that?
Did you ask her about the DB and fire?
The what?
The DB and fire.
What's DB and fire?
You don't. Oh my God! You blew
don't get mad. I blew the interview.
You blew the interview.
What?
First of all, you got to tell me when these icons are coming in.
Okay.
I love Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I know. I think I knew that about you.
The idea on the top murderers.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of murderers of the year this year. I feel like people very much support the Menendez brothers now.
I mean, it was a great
thing. Shout out to Ryan Murphy.
He killed it.
People really support Gypsy Rose.
Uh-huh.
People really support Luigi.
I don't know if I support Luigi.
People support Luigi.
Right, because healthcare is messed up in our country. I understand.
There you go. Okay. There you go. So, plus he just seems like a cool dude. So, other than
his nostrils are a little bit large for me. Everything else.
He's got the hottest eyebrows ever.
He does have great brows.
Right. So, but Gypsy Rose, like when she got out of jail, she's not with her man. So she married a dude in jail.
Right. I know that. And they're no longer together.
They're no longer together. That guy, by the way, was a big wrestling fan, and she was a wrestling fan too. So we already have a lot in common.
So I should have called you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
She's an icon.
Okay. I don't know if she's an icon.
She's a total icon.
Okay.
And what really made her an icon is that after they got out of jail, people were making fun of her husband on Instagram because he was kind of like dumpy.
Dopey.
A little doughy, dopey. And so people were making fun of him, and she came to his aid, and she wrote she posted pictures, and she wrote in a description, and by the way, the D is flame emoji.
Oh, fire.
Right, the D is fire.
Wow.
And I'm like, this chick rules.
But you haven't had D in so long, any D is going to be fire.
Well, she figured that out.
Right, exactly.
She was like, oh, maybe the D wasn't. But by the way, what a great question that would have been. Like, was the D actually fire, or was it just fire comparatively?
I should have asked that.
Because I'd want to know.
Yeah, and I could have gotten away with it on the mashup too because I wasn't actually saying I was like, was the D actually fire? So it was like in code enough.
Right.
Right.
You think they would have aired it?
It's odd the things that our producers and boss choose to edit out.
Like, yeah, I see.
That I think he might have kept. He might have kept
Wow.
that. Yeah, so I really blew it now that I think that.
Because you want a little top 40 edge?
Yeah, I need a little top 40 edge. She was very bizarre, but like very ready to answer all these questions and like.
Well, she got away with it.
Yeah, well, she didn't get away with it.
She's out of jail.
Yeah,
She's a celebrity.
I mean, she was tortured for years and had like. I know you're not allowed to murder, but also what her mom was doing, you're not allowed to do either.
Right, but the punishment's not murder for it.
Well, she didn't do the murder. But I don't.
By the way, she left that guy in jail. She is the vixen.
Look, what about the fact that she murdered or he murdered her mom and then they went and had sex in the bed and then caught a bus? That part of the story.
This Gypsy Rose is a vixen, though.
Yeah.
Imagine being like, okay, I'll do that for you, but we'll stay together, right? And she's like, absolutely. And then when they're like on trial, she's like, nah, we're broken up.
It's over.
I don't want anything to do with him. And then
she's a playa.
Then she meets a new dude while she's in jail.
Yeah. Also, who are all these guys that want to bang Gypsy Rose Blanchard? What if she kills you? What if she drops you?
That's the point.
Right.
That's what makes it exciting.
She also talks a lot about being like very she did talk about D, but the experimenting in jail. She had a lot of lady experimentation.
Oh, she was talking about that?
Not.
Oh, you mean publicly, but not to the mashup.
Yeah.
What the heck was? First of all, why are you having people who are famous for having their moms killed on the morning mashup?
We asked the same question.
Okay.
I want you to know that was a question that we all said, are we sure this is a good guess for our
and you
audience?
leave it up to the producer.
Well, I mean, Ben was right. It ended up being a great interview.
Sometimes I feel like Ben goes rogue.
He does go rogue, and that's one of the reasons I love him.
Right.
I like the rogueness.
But sometimes I feel like he's programming for Ben.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. But it is something like it is like a news story, and
she's a pop culture icon.
I don't like the icon word, but she is pop culture.
You don't have to like it. It's true.
Yeah, and she was willing to answer questions, so that's why I'm a little sad that I didn't get to ask if the D was actually fire.
What was she promoting?
A book. She's got a whole book, the tell-all about everything.
I've seen like 3 documentaries about her. I saw there's a Hulu series about her.
Her book, her words.
I know the story.
She said her mom used to make her like a what did she call it? Whatever it was like a little concoction, and it basically was like put you to sleep. So it was like oxycodone and like Xanax.
And were you like taking notes, going, and what are the ingredients? What order do you mix them in?
I don't love painkillers. I don't like the way that feels. But yeah, I mean, when you're living like that, you want to zone out. She was like trapped. Her mom wouldn't let her walk around the house. Yeah. She was like, you need to be in a wheelchair. She's like, no, but I can walk. Her mom was like, no, you can't. She was like, okay.
It just sounds like really uplifting stuff while you're listening to the hits, especially during the holidays.
We kept it light.
Did she play the age game?
No, she didn't play the age game. I hate you. She did tell us, I said, what was one of the things that you were like freaked out about when you got out? And one of the things she said was, I couldn't believe the Keurig machine. She's like, this thing's awesome.
I mean, it's a pretty wild thing without context.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I just popped this pod in and like,
that's it.
That's a weird thing not to have known about, you know?
Yeah. How long was she incarcerated for?
7 years.
It's not even that long.
It is a long time.
Well, it's a long time, but it's not like you get out 7 years later and go, oh my God, everything's different.
Right.
Keurig is pretty much the only thing that was different.
No, she said like a lot of the technology things.
Like what?
I don't know. She didn't go into
it.
We had
phones 7 years ago.
She only talked about the Keurig. She's very...
That's because that's literally the only thing different. I guess it's like, I mean, some people decided to cut the cable.
Wait, what's 7 years ago? So I can't do math.
Do it.
So we're in
2024.
2018.
Okay.
So we're in 2018. You shut up.
I don't know how I get 2018.
It's not 2018?
What's 4 plus 2?
6, 7. 5, 6, 7. 2018. 2018 to 20. Yeah, it's 2018 is 7 years ago.
Okay.
Why are you saying, what?
Because 2 plus 4 is 6.
Oh, but we're at 2025 now. We're basically there.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
You're counting 2025.
Sorry,
That's
I'm counting
fine.
that we're there. So figure 7 years, right? Because this year's over. So let's figure 7 years. 2018. I mean, was like what? No, what?
2018. Nothing was different.
I'm thinking about like what iPhone number were we on? Like
it was just a less number. These iPhones haven't changed in years. Like she's like, what I couldn't believe was there was 3 lenses instead of 2.
The emojis, a lot of new emojis.
Yeah.
Okay.
A pregnant man, not in my America. Yeah, I mean,
All right. I don't know. We ended up having a good time with her. She did
7 years ago, like, yeah, Trump was president.
She says she misses her mom. Which
I mean, we could have.
What? Guessed that?
No, I'm saying like it's kind of on her, that one.
No, but it's like it just shows like the dichotomy of like, you know, like being sort of imprisoned by your mother who like keeps you sick for years, and also it's your mom, so you always want your mom, even if she was this horrible person. I just found that interesting.
Obviously, or the dichotomy of like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm a total psycho.
Oh, you think she just put that? She said that?
I mean,
she gets off. She's like, fuck that bitch.
What do you miss?
Rotten hell.
I missed the cocktails she would. What are you talking about?
Maybe she does. She is sober now though, because she did end up going into jail addicted to opioids, which is not fun to come off of.
No, but and that wasn't even voluntary. Like she would have gotten addicted based on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but I mean,
next time I'll call you when Gypsy Rose comes in.
I mean, did they not have Keurig 7 years ago?
I don't know. That was her answer. I never checked.
Whose question was that? Terrible question.
No, I said, was there anything you got out of jail and you were like, whoa, this is weird? Like something has changed in 7 years. Something in the world has changed. No. Don't.
Because not only was it
what?
Not only was it 7 years, but 2 of those years were the pandemic. So literally nothing was even happening.
Well, that's huge. She was in jail for the pandemic.
Yeah, but when she got out, it was over. So it's like,
did they vaccinate the inmates?
Well, I think there were stories of like people were really worried that they were going to get COVID in there, but I don't know. I mean,
it had to have been like very close quarters. It had to be being passed around like wildfire.
You don't think they got 6 feet apart?
No.
You don't think they were trying to flatten the curve?
No, and you know what's funny?
3 weeks to flatten the curve.
Oh my God, you remember? Just flatten the mother effing curve. You know what's funny? Still at SiriusXM, if you go, I don't know if it's in the men's bathroom, but in the women's bathroom, it still says directions on how to wash your hands because they put those in that you need to wash for 20 seconds.
I had never known before then.
I didn't know how to wash my hands.
So maybe that's what, I came out of jail and I was like, oh, I didn't know this is how you wash your hands.
Thanks, Corona.
Yeah. I mean,
remember when it was just Corona? Everyone was like, why would you do that to poor beer?
Yeah. Nobody calls it. Nobody remembers that.
I remember it. I remember it.
I mean, what could have possibly been different in 7 years?
All right, whatever. Okay, nothing.
It's a hilarious.
I'm gonna Google.
It's a hilarious question.
I'm just gonna.
Like, can you imagine like going into a time machine and opening up and it's 2018 and you're like,
whoa, look at this. Looks like the Jetsons.
Why are you wearing that?
Yeah, maybe fashion things were different. I hate your guts. I do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no Sabrina Carpenter, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge. But that was 2 years ago.
I also asked her if she had gone to the Eras tour because she loves Taylor.
Has she?
Oddly, she wasn't able to go. She couldn't afford it. I was like, and I wanted to be like,
she's famous now.
I wanted to be like, why didn't you get the VIP?
She couldn't get hooked up? Taylor's not hooking up?
Someone who's incarcerated? I don't know.
Big deal.
I mean, Kim Kardashian was all over Gypsy. I think she was on an episode of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Wasn't that like Kim Kardashian's thing, is trying to get people out of jail?
Yeah,
that's
jail reform, prison reform. She's really into that.
Yeah, and maybe she was like, well, I know my mom and I get it. Maybe. I'm spitballing.
Do you know what I think happened back in the day? Not that everyone doesn't think this.
You mean back in the day, like 2018?
Shut up. I'm pretty sure.
What was different when you got out? No wonder her answer was so dumb. She was probably looking at you going, after everything I went through.
That's what you want to know.
That's the stupidest question I've ever heard.
I thought it was a great. She actually goes, wow, that's a really great question. So suck it.
And that's a really great question. Keurig machine.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting answer.
Because before I had to scoop the coffee.
You don't even know how to make coffee.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You go to Dunkin' every day.
That's what you do. You go, you pull up, you show your app,
right,
and you get a nice cold brew.
Wait, back to Kris Jenner. I'm positive that among all the drugs that they were doing, that Kris, Nicole Brown Simpson, OJ, and Robert, that they were all swinging.
You think there was swinging going on?
Yes.
Do you think Kris and OJ have...
Yes.
Wow.
I don't think Khloe's the product of that, but I do think that they banged.
I could see that. I mean, that was very of the time, and everybody said like Nicole like loved to party.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of drugs at those parties.
Yeah, and it all seemed very... I mean, it seemed kind of like the Biggins. It seemed like very sort of... When you would listen to the phone calls and stuff that would come through, like there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Lots of emotions, lots of like, Yeah. I could believe that.
I can believe that as well. Plus, I mean, Kris was super hot then, and so was Nicole Brown Simpson.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Shout out. I worry, though, that Daddy Kardashian was not...
And he wasn't allowed in it?
Not quite as much in the mix.
Well, he was not nearly as sexy as OJ was.
Well, think about it. Like, who played him on the TV show?
I don't remember, to be honest.
David Schwimmer.
Oh, yeah, it was David Schwimmer.
Like, can you imagine? By the way, props to David Schwimmer.
Yeah.
legend and icon.
Totally.
But like, if it was like, who do you want to play you in a movie? David Schwimmer?
Have you ever thought about who you want to play you in a movie? Like, I've thought about that. Like, and you,
I
you're
need
right.
two different actors.
Why?
Early Sam and this Sam.
Okay, what about this Sam now?
I guess
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham would be the one. Have him grow a beard. That's probably it. And then young Sam would probably be Timothy Chalamet with like a afro wig on. Yeah. Because that's how I view myself. People think I have delusions of grandeur, but I don't think so.
Right. So the guy that played Willy Wonka and the guy that also played Bob Dylan would play...
Bob Dylan had curly hair.
The legendary Sam Roberts.
Last professional broadcaster.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah. When you met me, Chalamet.
Well, I'm...
Now?
Yeah.
Probably Statham, potentially Vin Diesel.
I don't know who could play me because I used to be told that I looked like Katherine Heigl, but like darker.
You know who can play you?
Who?
I know who.
Who?
That chick from New Girl.
Oh, everyone says that too.
Yep.
Yeah, but she has bangs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But you're right. Like when someone is casting for a story, a movie, a TV show about you, like it could go horribly wrong. You could be really, your feelings could get really hurt.
You could get schwimmered.
You could get schwimmered.
You don't want that.
Robert, I'm so sorry that happened to you. You got schwimmered.
You got schwimmered, rest in peace.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you want for
out of life?
No, for 2025. Have you thought about like goals?
Yeah, I mean I make
What do you make?
I make 1 to 2 year long plans.
I know you do.
Yeah, so that's
Have you thought about anything for 2025? Am I involved in it?
I mean, you're involved in everything.
You.
Yeah. What do I want?
Mm-hmm. A lot of money?
I want aliens to be behind the drones in Jersey.
Oh God.
And then I want to go to the aliens. Why Jersey?
Yeah, honestly. But then it wasn't only Jersey. Didn't they see some in Connecticut, some in Florida, and some in California?
Some in Staten Island. Like,
Who goes to Staten Island? Sorry, Travis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I feel like there's no way that anything that weird is going on. We just want it to be something weird, and it feels mysterious, but eventually we're going to find out, and it's going to be a big old letdown.
What do you want for 2025?
I want to be rich. No, I want to grow as as an entertainer. I'd like to have do more side things. Like I used to love doing hosting things and stuff like that. I want to get more involved in that. And I want satisfying to be one of the biggest podcasts ever.
Boom. From your lips to God's ears. This is it for the year.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. Sorry for the short episode, but this is going to be it for 2024.
Yeah.
If you've missed any episodes, go back. So many of them are evergreen and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed on all audio platforms as well as our YouTube channel, Satisfying Podcast. And hey, we'll see you next year.
Mwah.